You too. What's going on? Appreciate y'all watching my videos. What's going on? Trying to see what's going on with this. Why this thing looking like this? What's going on? This guy gonna pull up next to me. We gonna be here for a while. At least we gonna get some attention. On my way to Dallas. Yeah, that's the rate. That's the kind of rate. That's the kind of rate I like to get. You know. That's the kind of rate I like to get. Jamar say, how the truck running? Yeah, it's running good so far. Knock on wood. Gotta get the front end. I gotta get the front end looked at. It's been, you know, it's got like a vibration on the front. Gotta get the front end looked at. You got brand new tires on here. Like I'm hoping it's like a bad shock or something. I don't know. But I'm gonna look at the shocks and see if it's a bad shock. Because all you gotta do is take off the shock, unbolt the top of the shock and push down on it. If you can push down on that shock freely, you got a bad shock. So it might be a bad kingpin, who knows? But I gotta get the front end looked at. Other than that, the truck running good, you know. I haven't had many issues with the truck, knock on wood. I mean, the kind of person I am, you know, like I work on my own stuff. So if something happens, like I can pretty much manage an issue, a breakdown issue. Like last month, I had that coolant hose break. You go back a couple videos back, you can find that video where I fixed that coolant hose up there in Pennsylvania. I'm still kind of mad about that load because I had a load under me, and I had to give the load back because I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't comfortable being under a load and something wrong with my truck. So I just went ahead and give it back, because on this side of trucking, if you can help it, you don't want to get charged for a late fee. So on this side of trucking, you get charged for late fee. Depending on the broker, each broker's got their fee for being late. Some shippers charge you on the spot for being late. So if you're late, they won't load you until you pay that late fee. There's a couple shippers out here. Sometimes the broker will charge you for being late. Sometimes the shipper will charge you for being late. So that particular load, I remember the late fee was $250. The late fee was $250. So but yeah, so I'm trying to think. A couple guys asked me about my truck. I'm trying to think. I've had a handful of little small things happen with this truck, but a lot of the things are manageable. And I try to make videos when I'm working on the truck to let you guys know, if you think about going independent and you think about buying your own truck, it's not hard to work on your own truck. Like I know guys who send their truck in to the shop just about anything, and it don't make no sense to do that. I know some guys, they make a big deal about taking their truck in to a Freightliner dealer for little small issues when it doesn't warrant you to take the truck in for every little small thing, man. It does not make sense to take your truck in for a light bulb. It don't make no sense to take your truck in for a windshield. A leaky coolant hose or something like that. You can replace a coolant hose, man. All you need is some pliers, a screwdriver, the hose and the clamp, and you put the new coolant in there and go on down the road. You don't need to be calling on you don't need to be doing all that. But I mean, I get it. There are a lot of guys out here, they're not technically inclined, which is okay. But if you're gonna buy a truck and come on the independent side of trucking, you need to be aware on what things could be fixed on your own and what things that's shop worthy, that's worth taking your truck in, paying the labor, and wasting a week of time to have your truck sit at the shop. And if you're really not comfortable working on something, you need to put all your energy in trying to find a good, reliable mechanic or a mechanic network to work on your truck. So that's just my opinion. So if you know you're not gonna work on the truck, you need to find a reliable, honest mechanic that you trust your truck with. You don't want to just take it down the Freightliner and be like, okay, call me when it's done. Yeah, they're gonna call you when it's done. It'll be 4 days later, and the shop bill gonna be $10,000. You want somebody that's gonna be flexible and is gonna work with you on the issues with the truck. Like I know mechanics, man, they'll go ahead and do the work, but like say the bill is $2,000 and you only got $1,000, $1,500. Well, a decent independent mechanic, he'll be like, you know what, man, just give me the $1,500 and pay me the rest next week. Most shops, they're not trying to hear that. You got to have that payment in full. Most Freightliner dealerships, you got to have that payment in full. So, I mean, a lot of things, I mean, these trucks, they're just machines, man. And like a lot of people be scared of these things, and it's just like, there's nothing to be scared of. They're machines. Everything is fixable, you know. You can go online, go on Google, and figure it out, and be like, okay, I need this, I need that. I need this and I need that. And before you know it, you can kind of narrow it down, and it's a $20 part, and you can fix it yourself. 9 times out of 10, that's what I came in contact with. That's been my issue. and then just having experience around these trucks. So I'm trying to think. Since I had this truck, I replaced 2 coolant hoses. I replaced the fuel gauge leveler sender. There's like this little black thing that sits on top of the fuel tank. It tells the truck how much fuel you got in there. I had to replace that. I had to replace the starter. Now the starter, I took the truck to the shop to get the starter replaced, because that was right when I first got the truck, and Schneider paid for that. So, but if Schneider wasn't gonna pay for it, I would have put that starter in myself. So, I mean, hey, you know. So, and I'm trying to think, and I picked up a couple bolts. I picked up a couple bolts on the truck and trailer. I replaced this seat. See this seat here? I replaced this seat. Replacing this seat, it wasn't easy. It was easy, but it wasn't easy. The seatbelt bracket is bolted into the chair, into the seat. So in order to take it off, you got to use a star bit. And the star bolt was, hold on a second. Hey, how you doing?
You got a roll with some paper?
No, I'm empty. I'm picking up.
I didn't know. I'm gonna fall back there.
No, I'm picking up. You know, it's a light load. I'm picking up that cardboard they got in here. Oh yeah, it's always a long wait here. Yeah, I appreciate this guy. He's an old school truck driver. Yeah, I appreciate it. He just wanted to make sure he wasn't jumping in front of me. He was just letting me know, cause he loaded, so he bringing in a load. I'm picking up a load, so I already know. I picked up loads out of here. It's always a long wait in here. I don't mind, cause this is an Uber freight load, so it's fine. You know, I don't mind waiting on Uber freight loads, cause they paid attention. I never have to worry about getting paid attention with Uber freight. To tell you the truth, Uber freight goes beyond, right? Like I've had Uber come back and say, hey man, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a couple $100 on this load, because I know you've been, this load has just been the load out of hell. You know, a lot of guys think that you can't negotiate on the Uber freight load. You can negotiate on the Uber freight load. You can't do it on the board. You gotta find out, when you're looking at the load. When you're looking at the load, you got to find out who the account representative on that load is. And if you can get in contact with that person and say, hey, usually you got to have some kind of issue or reason going on with the load. Say you booked the load, right? You booked the load, and say you got to a place and the shipper's giving you a hard time. You can call up Uber Freight and say, hey man, I want to see if I can get $50 more on this load. This shipper is terrible. The shipper is real bad. It's a real small shipper. They only got one dock, and I can't, it was hard for me to back my trailer in. Can I get $50 more on the load? I've had success with that. I called up Uber Freight cussing and, well, I mean, it is what it is. I called Uber Freight hollering and yelling and stuff, and they gave me a couple more dollars on the load, you know. And now when you call Uber Freight, you got to get past that customer service person on the phone. You got to get past them. You got to find out who the account representative is on that load. Once you get that person, the person who actually tendered the load with the shipper, then you can negotiate. But a lot of people don't know that. So, but yeah, so this truck, this truck, let me see, the seat, I replaced this seat, the fuel gauge sender thing, two coolant hoses, the coolant reservoir. I replaced that coolant reservoir. It wasn't leaking, but I can see a leak coming because it was like a little crack on it. It was a crack, and that's just something you don't need. The coolant reservoir, it was like $130. Just go ahead and get it. Just go ahead and get it. I be talking to guys. I be talking to a lot of guys. They be penny pinching out here. It's like, man, y'all need to quit. All this money you making $5,000-$6,000 a week, and you penny pinching over $100. Take care of your truck, man. Take care of your truck. Me penny pinching on little stuff like that. If you see an issue going wrong with your truck, don't put no duct tape on it. Go and buy a brand new coolant reservoir and go down the road. What else I replaced? I replaced the corner panel of my bumper. I hit a deer when I was with Schneider. I hit a deer. I replaced the corner panel. It's like a 2-3 part corner panel on the bumper. It was like $300 in parts. And trying to think what else I replaced in this truck. I replaced an air hose. There's an air hose that goes down to the air tank. I replaced the air hose. Well, actually, I replaced 2 hoses. I went to Fleet Pride. The guy just rolled off 2-3 feet of air hose for me, and I put it on the truck. I did it right there in the parking lot. The air hoses were like, them air hoses was, I don't know, about $10 or something like that. I don't remember. It was probably like $10. Trying to think. I put new steer tires on the truck. New steer tires. Trying to think. So far, that's about it. What happened with this truck, man, is the APU. I had to replace the APU motherboard on the APU. That was the motherboard on the APU was $1,200, and the labor was another $200-$300 or something like that. Out the door, it was $1,600. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's about it. The truck been running pretty good, knock on wood. Jeff, what's going on? Nothing much, man. I'm just running the truck, man. Jeff said, how the trailer doing? The trailer doing good, man. It's a trailer. It ain't really much going on with the trailers. I'm coming up on a year with this trailer. At the end of August, it'll be a year with this trailer. And so far, so good. With that trailer, only thing been going on with the trailer is I caught a couple bolts and a couple tires. And 2 tires are plugged, and 1 tire I wasn't able to plug because the bolt was so big. I was picking up a Procter & Gamble load. Any of y'all know about that Procter & Gamble over there in Union City in Atlanta? That Procter & Gamble over there off of 85. I was in there getting loaded, and you know Procter & Gamble, when you're doing a live load, what they expect you to do, they expect you to slide your tandems and all that stuff. I back into the door, And I must have picked up the boat on their property, because when you come to the Procter & Gamble to slide your tandems, I didn't see that boat back there. And when I went to back into the door, there was this big old boat. The boat was like this long. It was a big old like boat. I don't know where I caught it from. I must have caught it just on their property, because I had to, because I didn't see it. So I went ahead and got loaded, and then I went to a TA and got a new tire. The tire was like $350. It was a brand new tire, $350. A lot of guys be like, man, put some caps on. No, I don't put caps on my truck. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time putting caps on no truck. You be done killed somebody out here. I don't know why these big companies be putting caps on their trucks. I mean, I know why, but then to me, it's not worth it. So you ride down the road, bust a cap, all that rubber comes flying off. Now you're liable. You're liable. You're somewhat negligent for some of that, you know? And the person riding next to you, they can press charges. They can try to seek some type of settlement against you for tearing up their car. You know, they can flip over and kill themselves because you riding caps on your tires. No, I ain't messing with no caps, man. I ain't messing around with no caps. Do not mess around with caps. Don't waste your time with caps. You better off getting a used tire than messing with caps. I do recommend getting some used tires. Now, when you get used tires, here's the thing with used tires. You can use this concept with cars or whatever. Because a lot of people, they don't understand that tires are made out of rubber. Tires are made out of rubber. So once you understand tires are made out of rubber, you kind of think like, okay, old rubber deteriorates. Old rubber breaks down over time. So if you know that, what you got to do when you buy used tires, not caps, used tires, buy a tire. And when you buy the tire, you got to find the date code on the tire. You find the date code. If you find the date code on the tire, it's less than like 2 to 3 years. That's a decent tire. You still got some life with that tire. If you find the date code on the tire that's got 5, 6, years on the tire, I wouldn't mess with it. 4 years on the tire, that's just too long on tires. If you can find a tire that's got 2 to 3 years and it's a used tire, that's a deep, and the price is like $200, I will get that tire. I will buy that tire. $150 for a tire. And the date code, if you can find the date code on the tire, and each company has got their own little algorithm on how they do the date code on a tire. You gotta find that date code on the tire. And if that tire date code is within 2 to 3 years, I would get it. I would get that tire. Running caps, tires that's been recapped, no, don't do that. Don't waste your time. Because the tire gonna bust. It's gonna take out just about everything up under your truck. It ain't gonna take everything out, but it's gonna tear some stuff up. It's gonna take out the mud flap. It may take out your airbags. It may take out an airline. It may take out. It may make a crack or bend. It may bend one of your trailer beams under your trailer. All kind of things. When them tires bust, I wouldn't mess with cap tires. I just wouldn't mess with them. I got a used tire on my truck. I was very lucky. I lucked up. I found a used tire at a place, and the tread was still pretty good on this tire. It still had like. I want to get out the truck and show y'all. It's a gently used tire. The tire still had like 10, 12, 30 seconds left on this tire. It's damn near new. It's a damn near new tire. I lucked up because I went to a shop in this small town because my tire bust, and I was trying to get my tire plugged, and the guy, he didn't want to plug it. for obvious reasons, these shops, they don't want to waste an hour of shop time to get $50 when they can sell you a tire. They make more money that way. So I was like, nah, I want no cap tires, man. It's like, nah, we ain't got no caps. We have some used tires over here. So he brought the tire over to me, and I looked at it. I was like, oh man, this is a nice tire, you know. And now the tire was patched. It did have a nail. It did have a nail patch in it. But I take that tire, you know. The tire damn near the tire's damn near it's still pretty good. So but that's, yeah, my truck and trailer is, everything's so good, man. Let me show y'all something. Yeah, let me show y'all something. This is a blackjack tire repair that I bought. Oh yeah, man. I see. This is the thing that I've learned from being at a big fleet like Schneider and JB Hunt. This is what JB Hunt and Schneider do. What they do is, see, here's the deal. Here's the science behind steer tires. The regulation says you cannot use cap tires on steers. So you have to buy brand new tires on the steer. Guys still buy them, but you're not supposed to put cap steer tires on a commercial vehicle. With that being said, usually what the big companies do, they would wear steers down to about 4 30-seconds, and then they'll rotate them back to like a drive or a trailer tire. So that's what I do. So I have, when I got some brand new steer tires, it was nothing wrong with my steer tires. It was still pretty good, but I was trying to build a spare tire. I'm trying to build a spare tire reserve. So what I did was, since I'm trying to figure out my vibration in my front end of my truck, so what I did was, I'm trying to do two things at one time. So what I did was, I went ahead and bought 2 new steer tires. And I'm trying to figure out why the vibration is on my front end. So I'm trying to figure out what that is. So I went ahead and bought 2 new steer tires, and I'm finding out that it's not the tires that's causing the vibration on the front end, because I bought 2 new tires, and the tires are brand new. And you know, I don't know why, you know, the front end is vibrating, but we know it's not the tires because I bought brand new tires. Now it could be a situation where you can buy 2 sets of bad tires back to back, you know. But I was in the shop when they put the tires on, and I had the guys spin them for me, and I didn't see the tires out of round at all. So I mean, you could get a calibrator. There's like a calibrator where it's like a wheel that runs up on the edge of the tire. You can see how much out of round the tire is. But just by looking at it, and when he spent it, I didn't see the tire was out of round. It just spent freely, you know. So we know that it wasn't the steer tires causing this vibration. So I went and bought those 2 steer tires, and I kept my steer tires. Now I have spare tires in my reserve. So right now I got about 3 tires in reserve right now. The 2 steer tires, and I got 2 trailer tires in my reserve, because I caught a nail in 2 trailer tires, But what I did was I plug those tires, and then I keep those tires, and then I forgot what I did. I used one of my steer tires, and I got one on the trailer as a spare tire, and then I got two tires at the house. So I got about 3 tires in my spare tire reserve. So as an independent, these are things you have to, I don't say you have to do it, but something that you need to do so that you always got a spare tire in reserve. Because I go home every weekend, so I'm not out all the time. I'm not out that far. So if I have a situation where I blow a tire in a week, I'll go ahead and put that spare on, and then I'll keep the older tire, depending on what's wrong with it. If the tire busts, I'll throw it away because you can't repair it. But if I catch a bolt, I'll keep that tire, repair it, put the spare tire on, and keep going. Finish my week up, and then keep that tire in my reserve, and then always have a spare tire in my inventory. So that's why, that's what the big fleets do, but they do it on a bigger scale. So like a lot of you guys who run for Schneider, JB Hunt, and Swift, when you go to the shop and they have this big, when you go in the shop and you see this inventory of tires, they always have used tires at their disposal, because not all tires are like bad enough to throw away, but they still good enough. You can't put them on the steers, but you can put them on the drive, or you can put them on the trailer. So that's what the big fleets do, and I can practice that too at the same time. What do you recommend for electrical work in Atlanta? What you talking about? Automotive electrical work, or residential, commercial electrical work? Do you have 3 cap blowouts this year? No, I ain't. I have, knock on wood, I haven't had no blowouts this year. I've caught boats. That's pretty much all I've been catching. Since I left Schneider, I haven't had a blowout, because all my tires on my truck are virgin tires. My truck and trailer all have virgin tires. I don't mess with cap tires at all. Period. I don't even entertain the idea of cap tires being an option. Don't do it. I don't recommend it for anybody. Just go ahead and spend, because look, you can get a cap tire for $200. Why not just spend the extra $100 and get a brand new tire? Or get a used tire. Get a used virgin tire. Don't mess with caps. If it's caps, don't mess with it. Get a used virgin tire. Don't mess with no cap tires, man. Just don't. You can drive down the road right after them putting that tire on, and 30 miles down the road, that tire can bust. Wasted $200. Just spend an extra $50 to $100 to get a new one. You can get a brand new virgin tire if you shop around, because sometimes you just don't have the time to shop around, just because you need the tire. You can't shop around. But if you got a tire that's bad on a trailer, you can limp the tire to a shop. You can limp it. If it's an outside tire, you risking a chance of getting a ticket. But if it's an inside tire, the DOT, you have to get an inspection for the DOT to actually see that inside tire. If it's an inside dual tire, if you got wide singles, I feel sorry for you, because you're gonna have to pull off the side of the road and get that fixed ASAP. And wide singles are $800-900 a piece, $700-900 a piece. It ain't no shopping around with wide singles. But if you got duals, you can, an inside dual, you can limp that to a shop, and you can shop around. You can get on your phone, Google, call up some shops and say, hey man, how much are your virgin tires, and kind of compare, okay, a used virgin tire versus a brand new virgin tire, and kind of be like, okay, spend an extra $80, $90 to get a brand new tire, it's just worth it. Just spend the money. Don't penny pinch. Spend the money, because something like tires, you just don't want to skip out on something like that. Got some dash issues in a 2015 Freightliner. Yeah, man, you got to make sure your windshield is sealed properly, because what happens is water gets into the dash and it leaks down into the electronics. So you got to be very careful with that. You check those U-joints. Mine were loose. That's what caused the vibration in my truck. Yeah, I'm gonna have somebody take a look at it. What do you recommend for electric work? Let's see. Do you have them old steers for your trailer? Yeah, that's what I do. Because steer tires are made, like, steer tires are like what? They're 16 ply. Steer tires are 16 ply. They're heavy duty tires. So putting a steer tire on a trailer is damn good. You know what I mean? For a trailer tire. You know, trailer tires, you can get away with it being 14, you can get away with it being 14 ply. You know, regulations require tires on a commercial vehicle to be at least 14 ply. But I mean, I see guys putting 12 and 13 ply on their truck, but I don't know. But yeah, you know, because steer tires, you can put them any position on the truck. You can put a steer tire on the drive position. You can put them on the tandem position. So having a steer tire in your reserve as a spare tire is a great flexible tire. You can put this, if you blow, God forbid, if you blow a steer tire, you can put that steer tire back on your steer. If you blow a drive tire, you can put it on the drive. If you blow a trailer tire, put it on the trailer. Now, if you go and buy a trailer tire, you can't put it, the only place you can put it is on your drive and your trailers. You could get away with putting a trailer tire on your drives. I don't recommend it, but you can. You definitely can't put a trailer tire on your steers. You can't. You just can't. Buy a used APU. Yeah, man, just go on Google, Amazon, call up Thermo King and Carrier. Them places always have used APUs laying around, and you know, they'll offer you a good deal on them. They'll offer you a warranty. They'll install it for you and everything. You know, I've seen some APUs on eBay. I've seen APUs on Craigslist. I mean, you just shop around, man. That's it. Let me see. Jeff said he adding 4 more drivers to his fleet. Congratulations, Jeff. Congratulations. Why did 404 leave Schneider? Well, I don't know if you're aware, James Livingston. I got about 350 videos in my catalog. All you gotta do is just go back, you know, and I'll tell you the reasons why I left Schneider. You know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Trevona. Yeah, I book a lot of Uber freight loads. I would say in a week, I may book, out of 5 loads in a week, I may book 3 or 4 Uber freight loads. And then I may, and a lot of, and see, the thing is, like, Uber freight is like Schneider. Uber freight is very well like Schneider, because they have consistent like freight lanes. And once you learn a lot of Uber Freight's lanes, it's like you pretty much develop your own little dedicated account. So, kind of, sort of. And with Uber Freight, you kind of develop your own little dedicated account. So I use Uber Freight as my baseline, and then I'll use other brokers to get back to an Uber Freight load. That's what I've been doing. So, because Uber Freight don't necessarily have loads everywhere, but they do have loads. They do have decent rates, and they do have consistent freight. So, you know, like I use Uber Freight to get out the house. Like 9 times out of 10, I use an Uber Freight load to leave the house. And then, depending on where the load going to, if they don't have a load in that area, I'll go on a different load board from a different broker off the DAC board to get me out of that Uber Freight lane to get me back into an Uber Freight lane. You know what I mean? So, like, I'll try to find a load going to an area where I know it's a bunch of Uber Freight loads. So, I use Uber Freight as my baseline, and then I'll use all the other brokers as a backhaul. You know, Uber Freight is my primary customer, so to speak. So that's what I've been doing. Because Uber Freight is very reliable, they pay. So, you know, Uber Freight pays. You know, they pay the detention. They pay in 24 to 48 hours. No problem. Hold on.
You going to Jackson, man?
Jackson, Mississippi? Yeah.
Take your trailer up first.
Yeah.
You got 2 dock doors, one open. Back in the other hole.
All right.
Slide your trailer 2 straps.
All right. So my appointment, let me see, this Uber Freight load I got, my appointment is at 3 o'clock. It's almost 4 o'clock and they just not put me to a door. So I've been here before. They slow here. I'm probably going to get a good 2 hours of attention. I'm probably going to get about 2 to 3 hours of attention. So that's Uber Freight pays $75 an hour for detention. So that's going to be that's going to be about $200, $250, $200. It depends, you know. And because like Uber Freight, they pay down to the minute. You know, they pay down to the minute. So if you at a place, and because it's all calculated in the app, so if you get to a place and you get loaded and you get out of there at like 2:39, if you get out of there at 2:39, they would calculate all the detention down to the minute. So it'll be, I don't know how they calculate it, but that's how they do it. So, you know, like most brokers, they calculate it down within half an hour increments, you know. Convoy and Uber Freight, I start there, and then all the other brokers, I kind of fill them in with other brokers, because those guys, they're Convoy, Uber, JB Hunt, those guys, they're reliable. They pay attention when they say they're gonna pay it. I don't have to chase people around for the detention, and I don't have to do all that. I just call in, do a check call. Hey, I'm at this place. I'm not loaded yet. Okay, let me put you in for detention, and hang up the phone. I don't have to. A lot of these brokers, they like to play games with detention. I'm trying to run a business. If you want to do business, let's do business. Don't be playing games. But yeah, Travona, Uber Freight is a very reliable broker to pull for. A lot of guys don't like Uber Freight, but I'm a one-man business, and it's just easy to book loads through Uber Freight. So you know, 75% of my loads are through Uber Freight, you know. Let me see. James say, about to be in the ATL, what shop do you recommend for electrical issues? Electrical? Electrical. It depends what type of electrical. If it's engine electrical stuff, I would take it to the engine shop. That's what I would take it to. But I'm trying to think. You got electrical. I mean, electrical work is just like, I've had a car that had like some crazy electrical issues, and electrical issues is very hard to diagnose. You got to find somebody that know what they're doing, and like, I don't recommend taking your truck down to the dealer, because all they're gonna do is just replacing parts. You want somebody that's gonna really get in there and figure out what the problem is. And these big shops, they really don't have that kind of time. They gonna hook it up to the computer, and they just gonna be like, it's this part right here, so let's replace that. And then you drive down the road, 2 days later, it comes back and still didn't fix the problem. You just gonna be replacing parts. You want a guy that's like a doctor when it comes to like electrical problems in a truck. You know, he come out with his little thermometer, tap on the truck, and he can listen to the truck. It's like, okay, that's the problem. You want that guy. And I don't know a guy like that. I knew a guy in the automotive world like that when I lived in Florida. I knew a guy like that. He can just listen to the car and tell what's wrong with it. He can lift the hood up and be like, okay, yeah, boop, it's a bad distributor cap, or it's a bad wiring harness, it's a bad this, it's a bad that. You know, he can break it down quick. But you pretty much need like a surgeon when it comes to like automotive and trucks and stuff like that. That's the kind of person you're looking for. Just some random one-of-the-mill mechanic, you know, that just work on trucks all day. Not that guy. You need a guy that's been working on these things for like 30 years. And, you know, sorry to say, I don't know that guy. You was sold a tire for 2006, I'll get rid of that tire. I'm just saying. I wouldn't mess with that tire. I mean, simply going on your phone and Googling the make and model of a tire and figuring out how the date code works, and you just pull it up on your phone, you can figure out what the date code is on that tire, and figure out what's going on. So that is as simple as that. It's not that hard to find the date code on the tire. If it was me, I would try to get the newest tire in that shop's inventory. Uber Freight is simple. JB Hunt app is good too. I use the board Step Deck Life. Step Deck Life. How long do you have? Uber Freight will take your authority right after you put insurance on it. So right when your authority becomes active, once that 21 days period is up and your authority is active, Uber Freight will take you. Uber Freight I don't think they have a time requirement. From what I've been hearing, I think they've been putting restrictions, but generally all these companies out here, 30 days is a good number. I mean, you know, if you don't got at least 30 days on your authority, it's gonna be hard for you anyway. So if you're gonna get your authority, wait 30 to 45 days. If you get 30 to 45 days, you make it. You can run plenty of freight. You run plenty of freight with I gotta turn my truck around so I can get to this door. Get to this door. I know some of y'all gonna be hollering, put your seatbelt on, hey, put your seatbelt on. I'm not even on the highway, shut up. Damn. I swear, people be acting like they damn saints. Like they never do nothing wrong. You know, you got folk out here, you know, you got folk like, oh, he ain't wearing no seatbelt. Shut up. I'm gonna have to back down here. That's what I'm gonna do. This guy will be on his phone. He ain't even paying attention. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna back in this door down here. It don't make no sense. They make you check in at one door and then make you get loaded in another door. Make no doggone sense. Why y'all want to get in trucking for? I have no idea why y'all want to get in trucking. I gotta call this broker. I'm trying to get this load for tomorrow. Coming out of there, what's going on? This guy down here in the doggone way. Gotta get out the way, man. Come on, get out of the way. Oh. I gotta call this broker on this load. Making me work too hard for this load. Yes, hi. I'm calling on the load coming out of Monticello, Mississippi, going down to Valdosta, Georgia. Yes, I spoke to a gentleman and he was looking to move it for 1100, but I'm not sure who the guy's name was. Brian, Matt. Right. I put in an offer for 1125, but he counted at 11, and Right. 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 Well, I can make, I can put in the offer with you. I mean, I can do the load for 1,100. Let's see here. 536.